Hi guys, the chapter, For Whom, throws us right into the action, or rather, the direct aftermath of it. We get this stunning full-page shot of Balon, the former champion, lying defeated in a massive crater. The announcer is absolutely freaking out, shouting Balon, the previous champion, is knocked out in shocking fashion. This immediately tells you what a monumental event this is. Gane floats down, looking a bit worn herself, and her first thought is a classic, maybe I went a tad too far. It's clear she has immense power, but doesn't have a full handle on it yet, or maybe she's just more considerate than you'd expect. She acknowledges that Balon pushed her and earned her respect, which is a great touch. While this is happening, the perspective shifts to the crowd, where we see Beltripe, one of the four evils. He's watching her fight and wonders aloud, Gane, who is that little girl? But here's where things get really interesting. Just as Gane is writing him off, Balon gets to his feet in a single, swift motion. He's not even angry. Gane is floored, yelling, "You are just way too tough. After all that punishment I gave you." Balon just walks up, says it's quite an honor, and with a yoink sound effect, he just plucks the tiny Gane out of the air and sets her on his shoulder. This is such a fantastic subversion of expectations. He's not a sore loser. He's a true sportsman acknowledging the person who beat him. The visual comedy of the huge, muscular Balon gently carrying a fuming Gane is top-notch. With little honk sound effects drawn in, Percival runs over, cheering for Gane and telling her how much stronger she's gotten. He offers to heal her, and what follows is this hilarious, stubborn argument. Balon, trying to be a gentleman, insists, "I'm fine, take care of Gane ahead of me." Gawain's pride won't have it, and she pokes him while retorting, "What? Don't. Give me that, you're acting like I took more damage." This back and forth feels so much like a real family squabble. Finally, Percival, ever the simple solution, just says, "Okay, how about I heal both of you at the same time?" and wraps them in a cloud of healing magic. The rest of the group swarms them, and the chaotic family vibe continues and expresses how worried they were, and Donnie delivers an all-time classic line, "Yeah, you're kind of a prick, but that battle just floored me." After they tease her that her hair looks like a bomb went off, Gane uses his magic to douse her with water. Balon looks at her and says quietly, "I much prefer your real self, you know?" This surprisingly gentle comment completely throws her off, and she gets super flustered. This leads to a massive development for Balon's character. He turns to Gareth and has a moment of revelation, saying, "I think I've finally found what I was looking for, the person who will change my destiny." He then turns to Gane and gives this grand, solemn speech. "I've pursued power for so long. I've built all of this up, and now I've decided to use it for you." It's a profound vow of loyalty and purpose, which makes it all the funnier when Gane completely misses the point. She interprets his life-altering decision as a job application, shouting, "Well, goodness, you're volunteering to become my henchman. Perfect, then you're hired," while slapping him on the head. And reaction, "Why'd she take it that way?" is the perfect punchline to the whole exchange. Then, the manga cuts from that peak comedy and the mood changes on a dime. We see Isolda crying as she remembers a sweet, heartbreaking flashback of her father, Lord Beltripe. He's hugging her as a child, promising, "I will use those skills solely to protect you." The scene immediately returns to the present, where she laments, "That man doesn't even recall who I am now." The pain is so raw that when Tristan tries to talk about it, she yells, "I don't want to talk about this." She clings to him, pleading, "I have you now, after all. So please fight for me and win for me, too." Her request is loaded with desperation. She needs someone to fight a battle for her that she can't. And for the final dramatic reveal, the announcer calls the next match, and the one who steps into the ring is the real Isolda. The setup is a perfect tragedy. Tristan is now facing her, and he's clearly reluctant, telling her, "I honestly don't want to fight you, but such are the rules." The bell sounds, and they explode into a flurry of sword strikes, a dance of blades that shows how well they know each other. The fight builds to its key moment. Tristan reaches out to her mid-fight, saying, "I can tell you, know me, Isolde. I'd like to try and remember you as well." He's offering to bridge the gap between them, but she shuts him down completely, shouting, "There's no need to try and recall me at all." It's interesting. Maybe she has a plan, or maybe she has just given up on getting Tristan back to normal. I guess we'll find out soon enough. Anyway, I think this whole situation with Tristan is leading to some great development for her character. She's growing more independent of him and is becoming more than just the girl who loves Tristan. I still think this whole Tristan memory loss situation is a bit meh, but I have to admit it will develop his relationship with his team. And that's not even mentioning how important the fact that the fake Isolda is Beltribe's daughter is going to be. So chapter 194, Tantris versus Isolde, throws us right back into that intense confrontation. Tristan is asking the real Isolde why she said he doesn't need to remember her, and she just lays into him, shouting, "Oh, yes, I know full well what a weak-kneed coward you are." It's a brutal thing to say, and you can see it hits Tristan hard. Meanwhile, from the stands, the fake Isolde is yelling for Tantris not to be fooled by her statements. The rest of the gang is watching, totally confused. Donnie thinks Isolde is being incredibly brazen, while Gareth just notes that she's acting strangely. The fake Isolde then has her own internal moment. We get a glimpse into what's driving her. She's watching the fight, and she has this internal moment where she's scowling, thinking, "Because I sure can't count on the father who threw me aside any longer." This is a huge piece of her motivation. She feels abandoned by her own father, Beltribe, and it's clear she's looking for someone else to place her hopes in. That's why she's so invested in Tristan winning, telling herself, "You have to win this, for my sake." This is immediately followed by a really poignant flashback that shows us exactly why she feels this way. We see a memory of her as a little girl with her father, Beltribe. He's telling her, "Whenever you marry, my child, pick a man stronger and braver than myself." Am I clear on that, Isolde? It's a heavy thing for a father to say, and it sets up the impossible standard she's been trying to live up to. In her mind, the ideal man is one with bravery, muscle, and the will to care for and protect me alone. The flashback ends with a heartbreaking panel of her looking down, thinking, "Yes, and that is why I chose you." It's a direct reference to Tristan. She sees him as the embodiment of that strength and bravery her father told her to find. She's not just a random supporter. She has pinned all of her hopes and her father's expectations onto Tristan. This makes her desperation and her pleas for him to win makes so much more sense. The tournament itself is secondary. So while the fight is raging on, we get a great little exchange between and Gane that gives us some important context and points out that they're actually landing hits. He then explains that their training was basically a real battle, because it was Isolde herself who first suggested they go all out, and is shocked, worried they could get seriously hurt. But Gane clarifies just how dedicated Isolde is, saying she's so serious when it comes to Tristan that she's ready to throw her life away for him. A big difference from the fake one, I'd say. But the real meat of the chapter is the flashback we get from the real Isolde's perspective, which explains everything about her actions. She starts by narrating how she used to see Tristan. To her, he was a perfect prince straight out of a fairy tale, handsome, gentle, the son of the great hero Meliodas, and a knight of prophecy destined for greatness. He seemed completely untouchable, like he lived in a different world. Then comes the memory that changed it all. One day, while Gane and a young Jade were looking for him, she stumbled upon Tristan all alone, huddled up and sobbing his heart out. He was just a little kid, terrified that his parents would worry about him and that Gane and Jade would laugh at him for crying. It's this incredibly vulnerable moment that shatters her fairy tale image of him. He begs her not to tell anyone, and she grabs his hands, swearing on her life that his secret is safe with her. That was the moment she realized He wasn't some distant, perfect being. He was just a boy cracking under the crushing pressure of his destiny. Seeing him force himself to get back up, even while he was terrified, is what made her fall for him. It's right then that she resolves to dedicate her entire life to supporting the real, vulnerable Tristan. Back in the present, this explains why she's being so harsh. She's not trying to hurt him, she's trying to break through the amnesiac Tantris persona and force the real Tristan to the surface. He's begging her to stop, saying he doesn't want to hurt her and doesn't want her fighting against Camelot. But she presses on, tears streaming down her face, pleading with him to at least remember his mission as a knight of prophecy. And here's a super important detail. As Isolda is trying to trigger his memory, the fake Isolda in the crowd panics and yells, "No, don't remember all of that. It's a huge tell." She has her own reasons for wanting Tristan to stay broken, which makes her character way more suspicious, and as they keep on fighting, Isolda realizes words aren't enough. She's not trying to win, she's trying to reach him. In a shocking move, she stops defending and intentionally allows Tristan's next attack to land. The full-page panel of him staring in horror as his own sword is embedded in her is just devastating. With his sword in her, she gets close and whispers, reminding him of Jade, the man who lost his life for him. That's what finally breaks the dam. The memory of Jade's death flashes in his mind, and Tristan drops his weapons, atching his shoulder as she collapses. The fight is over. He's sobbing, apologizing, admitting, "I am a weak-kneed coward." The referee declares him the winner since Isolda can no longer continue, but the result is meaningless. He just holds her as he completely breaks down. It's an incredibly raw and emotional end to the fight, and it shows the difference between true love and just seeing the other as a tool for self-interest reasons. So if you liked the video, consider giving it a like and subscribing, and that was it for today.